My name is Bob Roth, and I'd like to welcome you to this short introduction to what Transcendental Meditation is and is not, a little bit how it works, some of the benefits, and how you would learn the technique. So we're all on the same page. I want to start right off with a very simple working definition of Transcendental Meditation. Number one, TM is a very simple technique. It's simple, not because it's simplistic or a beginner's meditation, but because there's an elegant simplicity to the practice. Very profound, elegant simplicity to the practice. Number two, it's natural. There's no manipulation, there's no suggestion. Every human being can practice Transcendental Meditation as well as every other human being. Very simple to learn and very enjoyable to practice. Number three, it's effortless. Effortless in contrast to many other meditation techniques which involve concentration or control of the mind, trying to clear the mind of thoughts. This is completely effortless.
From which you've come, you can't really fulfill your supreme moment of destiny. And I think everybody has a supreme moment of destiny. So what you've done and what you've been doing, and actually people have several supreme moments, some people do. So I think being connected to that which is greater than yourself, for me, at this particular time in my life, is the most important thing, and that's what I'm working on. One of the things I did in next chapter, I went to visit a town called TM Town, and it's in Fairfield, Iowa. Mm-hmm. Would you imagine that in Fairfield, Iowa, it's a town population about 9,500, a third of the town meditates. So there's a traffic jam in Fairfield, Iowa at 5:30 with mothers and doctors and dentists and lawyers and engineers and clerks and soccer moms all headed to the Dome in Fairfield, Iowa, people who look just like you and me, and they're all there meditating. And in order to prepare for doing that show, I brought the Transcendental Meditationists into Harpo Studios to teach me and my team how to meditate. So we started meditating. 7 of us, 7 led to 70, led to 270, led to now everybody in the company meditates. 9 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the afternoon, no matter what's going on, we stop, we meditate. And that way of being still with ourselves, coming back to the center, and recognizing that something is more important than you, it's more important than the work you're doing, it's more important, brings a kind of energy and an intensity of energy, an intention that we've never had before. And you can't imagine what's happened in the company. People who used to have migraines don't, people are sleeping better, people have better relationships, people interact with other people better. It's been fantastic. So the one thing I want to continue to do is to center myself every day and make that a practice for myself, because I am 1,000% better when I do that. 1,000% better when I take myself back to something bigger than myself.
Norwich is a crucible of an institution. We're the oldest private military college in the country. And not only is it academic, it's like adding boot camp and military service on top of a very rigorous academic program. So a lot of stress. Our students are dealing with a lot of stress. I had a wonderful call from the daughter of one of my trustees who said, Rich, you need to find out what the David Lynch Foundation is doing about TM. And I said, what's TM? And she said, Transcendental Meditation. I said, really? I'm the kind of guy that show me the data. So she sent me some articles, and I was reluctant, skeptical, but the more I learned, the more confident I became. And I said, okay, I want to talk to somebody at the David Lynch Foundation. And we did. We had a great exchange. It was through their great briefings, the literature they gave us, the conversations that we had, we decided to experiment. I said, I'm going to do it, because I'm not going to let a student do it until I do it first, right? You have to lead from the front. We had our first session, and we decided we were going to try this. So we wrote to all the inbound rooks and their parents and said, we're going to do a trial, training for 30 and not training for the other 30. We put them in 2 separate platoons, and the reaction was dramatic.
After like the first week of practicing it, you felt a difference. You felt calmer and much more aware of your surroundings, and you could focus.
I've seen it, improve my ability in wrestling. I've seen it improve my grades. I've seen it just make me more clear, more focused.
TM's just been the greatest tool that I've had for, stress management and keeping clarity in my life.
I used to feel very overwhelmed throughout the day. When I started TM, I started feeling more refreshed and more focused.
Within 4 or 5 weeks, the kids who didn't get the training were complaining. Like the other guys had an advantage of them in class, and the other platoon wasn't getting yelled at as much, and they learned how to do things so much quicker, and they were so far ahead of the other platoons in what they were learning from a military point of view.
In about 1,200 hours flying helicopters when I was a youngster. This is before we had an aviation branch. A lot of stressful situations over the course of those years, and I wish I would have had the transcendental meditation tool then.
TM is all about being relaxed and being a better thinker. It doesn't require any drugs. You can do it at any time. You can be anywhere.
It's just part of an overall healthy lifestyle. I mean, you become physically fit, you work out, you take care of your body, you do transcendental meditation, it helps you take care of your mind. The powerful part of that is that it actually physiologically improves your brain function.
If I'm feeling cluttered and crowded with all of the different responsibilities I have, I do TM and suddenly, I know what I gotta do.
When I get a lot of things going on at once, I'll sit there for a while and I'll just think, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. I don't know where I'm gonna start. After I learned TM, I found myself in that situation, so I figured, okay, I'm gonna take 20 minutes, I'm gonna meditate, and after the 20 minutes, I felt like I was really able to concentrate on getting my work done and not just sitting there overwhelmed about it.
Some of our psych professors did some scholarly research about the impact it has on your neurons and the connectivity there, and your eye retinal tracking, which is very important to military people. Are we tracking the right target? And how does being settled and being more situationally aware improve that? And it does.
I think it was within 90 days that in every measurable functional area, the platoon that was trained in TM was outperforming the control platoon.
We found a significant difference between the TM and control groups. Things like depression, anxiety, stress, bad moods, all of that went down significantly. We also found that constructive thinking, behavioral coping, emotional coping, and resilience all went up significantly.
I am so impressed with what's happening here. I really do hope more colleges take this on. I think it should be made available to every college student who needs it or wants it. They probably all need it. They just don't know it.
In the last 40 years, there have been over 340 scientific studies published in independent peer-reviewed journals, including the American Medical Association's journal, Archives of Internal Medicine, the American Heart Association's journal, Stroke and Hypertension. Wide range of some of the most respected journals in the world have published research on transcendental meditation. The National Institutes of Health have provided $26 million to study the effects of transcendental meditation on stress and heart health. The Department of Defense just provided a $2.4 million grant to study the effects of transcendental meditation on post-traumatic stress on soldiers who are coming back from combat in Iraq and Afghanistan, who have come back from those war-torn areas. Beautiful thing about transcendental meditation is we just sit comfortably in a chair. We can sit up in bed, sit however we want, sitting up comfortably with the eyes closed. No particular posture is needed. And it looks just like this from the outside. So when you practice TM, you just sit comfortably. I'm a very skeptical person by nature, and when I heard about transcendental meditation, when I attended an introductory lecture 45 years ago, at the end of the talk, I asked the teacher, how much of this do I have to believe in for it to work? Because I don't want to have to believe in anything. And the teacher told me that I could be 100% skeptical and the technique would work just fine. Now, she didn't have a cell phone, but she did have a pen, and she said, you don't have to believe in gravity. As a matter of fact, you can think Newton's laws of gravity is a complete joke, but if you drop, in this case, a cell phone, the phone falls. In the same way, we don't have to believe in anything to practice transcendental meditation and to gain the benefits. And that's because we are hardwired for the experience. It is a mechanism, it's who we are. Transcendental meditation is just a simple, natural, effortless technique to give access to that calm, silent level of the mind that is always there, but is overshadowed because of the constant noise, crazy of the day. So there's no change in lifestyle, there's nothing to believe in, there's no philosophy. It's just a simple, natural, effortless technique that once learned, you carry with you for the rest of your life.
To the medical heroes who are in a real life and death battle.
There's no words to express the level of anxiety you feel in the actual workplace.
It felt like a war zone. I was exhausted, more so than I could ever remember being exhausted.
The amount of sadness, overwhelm, fear, loneliness that all the staff experienced was like nothing that any of us had ever encountered before.
I think on so many different levels, it's been an extremely stressful time for healthcare providers.
The profession of healthcare is one of the highest with depression, suicide.
We got the news that a doctor at the hospital had taken his own life. That happened over the weekend, and when I went in on a Monday, you could just really feel it and see it on people's faces, that everybody was affected by that.
As time went on, in the fall, we got an amazing invitation from the David Lynch Foundation to accept their offer of the program Heal the Healer.
It just keeps me going, and I am able to maintain inner joy that I don't know where it comes from.
I crave TM to the point where after a long, hard day, it becomes this respite from the thoughts and the emotions that I've experienced through that day.
It's helping me manage my feelings, my emotion, my productivity, my effectiveness.
It feels like it's this extra shield that I have on. I feel stronger.
Every time you meditate and you have this opportunity to be at calm and at peace, you have this ability to emerge from that experience with a clarity and with a focus that you may not have had before. And that carries throughout the day.
I would love to share with you some of the initial data on healing the healers. Our research has shown a significant 60% reduction in the insomnia severity index, a reduction in emotional exhaustion and burnout. This included a 65% reduction in anxiety and almost a 40% improvement in the mental well-being. And even though the data is not complete, the initial data is incredibly exciting.
I am yet to see any other program out there that's so effective and yet so simple.
TM for me has been life-changing, life-altering.
It's an amazing program and has benefited so many of us.
I love TM.